So Apple is bowing down to the Chinese government once again. This is going to be a small segment on that. The SolarWinds hack could be much worse than we originally feared. Sorry to announce that. Major platforms are banning Trump permanently. Yeah, that kind of thing. And Windows 10 is being completely revamped for the end of this year's update. My name is Luke. It's Dan Out Digital World. Let's get started. So, the first thing that we need to talk about is the big elephant in the room. Happy 2021. Not. So far in 2021, I have seen basically nothing change. And in fact, some things have gotten worse than they were at the end of 2020. Riots there was a massive riot in the US, sparked, which is the reason why Trump's been banned, and it was sparked by Trump, accidentally or not, it doesn't matter. He's president of the United States, people listen to his voice. The UK is back in a national lockdown. A lot of places are back in, I don't know any other countries that are back in national lockdowns, but there are other areas that are in a lockdown. Things are not getting better at the moment. The key word in that phrase is at the moment. So let's go to this headline. So let's start with Apple removing 39,000 games from China App Store. Oh, by the way, UK back in lockdown. Yes, we are. I no longer have school, and that's definitely until February half term. So we're going to be seeing a good few weeks of daily uploads from today. I was getting everything ready from when lockdown was announced until today to be ready to record these episodes. So let's get started. Apple have removed 39,000 games from their China App Store. I'm going to go more into depth into Apple's relationship with the Chinese government, if I'm perfectly honest, in a video on Apple analysis. For those who don't know, I have a few other channels: Apple analysis, Android analysis, Linux Life, I believe it's Linux Life or Linux Lite. I can't remember. I do apologise. It's been so long since I made one on there. And Dynamic Digital Dive. All of those will be getting a new video on them either today or tomorrow. I also have a massive announcement for the end of today's episode and for tomorrow's episode probably. I'll explain that at the end of the episode in a separate segment. So Apple on Thursday removed Apple on Thursday 31st of December, this is very end of 2020. On 31st of December, Apple officially removed 39,000 apps from the China App Stores due to them lacking an official license from regulators. Now, it includes games such as Ubisoft titles like Assassin's Creed Identity and NBA 2, as well as NBA 2K20. Only 74 of the top 1,500 paid games on the China App Store survived the purge. In addition to these 39,000 games, Apple also removed more than 46,000 apps in total from its store. In February, Apple gave app developers an initial June 30th deadline to prove that they had a license for their games, and later all of these timeframes are now referring to 2020. Sorry, it's so weird being in 2021. So all timeframes I give in this are going to be 2020. So in February 2020, Apple gave app developers an initial June 30th, 2020 app deadline to prove they had a license for games. That deadline was then extended to December 31st of 2020. However, in July, the company froze updates for those mobile games due to them lacking a license, and in August removed 30,000 apps for similar reasons. Developers were warned of these removals in July if their apps did not meet regulatory requirements, and it's definitely coming from it's said to be coming from increasing government pressure on Apple to comply with local regulators that have been in place since 2016. So I'm not going to go too deeply into this because I do want to explore what Apple does here to explore their profits and also some other business things that Apple do have. I really do need to explore because it's not right of me to ignore them as a journalist, which for all intents and purposes I am. For all intents and purposes I am a journalist, and it's not right that I ever ignore any of these issues. So the removal of apps is definitely nothing new. We've been seeing it happen since 2016, since these regulations were put into place. But the problem with it is that the problem with it is with Apple doing this and just bowing down to pressure. I understand they have to, they want to run in China, but the problem is Google don't run in China. Yeah, I'm going to be blatantly obvious about this. Google have made a decision here, and it's a very easy decision for them. Or it seemed to be one that they're not turning back on anytime soon. There was a whole Project Dragonfly that was shut down. They decided not to offer products in China. Yes, Android is available in China, but that's different. That's an open source community effort. You can't exactly stop them from doing that. But the Google Play Store isn't in China. Apple's App Store is. Apple iPhones are. And I think when you look at all of it, the one thing you see is that Apple have clearly put profits ahead of tackling this major issue, which is a human rights issue. I'm not lying. Lots of other companies have. I believe Samsung do sell products in China. I'm not too sure. I will have to double check. But I believe they do. I know, obviously, the Chinese companies, Huawei, there's a lot of... I'm not saying we shouldn't put it in China, I'm just saying, bowing down to things like this, it almost makes Apple seem to be giving into the oppression. Now, I'm not going to be saying anything more on this topic on this channel. I'm just saying, if you look at it the wrong way, it almost looks as if Apple endorses it. That's all I'm going to say. But Nintendo, this is actually a funny story about Xbox. Sorry, so let's move away from that because that's a bit of a sad story. I don't really like seeing a company doing, but Nintendo once laughed Xbox executives out of a room over a Microsoft acquisition offer. I am not lying. I promise you, this is a real story. There's a massive story about this on Bloomberg. You'll be able to see the entire story on there. But the original Xbox was actually known Midway or Coffin Box to some, because they worried it would fail and end their career and end the people who were involved with it, end their career at Microsoft. As part of an effort to lock in exclusive games, you'll notice the one thing that Microsoft have always, failed with is exclusives. We've always known that's the case. We've got Forza, Gears, Halo. Forza, Gears, Halo. I'm not going to do Forza Horizon 4, Forza Horizon, Forza Motorsport. They're part of the same series. I'm not doing that. That's cheap. Forza, Horizon, Gears, the Medium. That's a new one. The Medium. There are more. I know there are more. It's just hard to remember them. Point is, we don't see. That's how hard it is for me to name them. Yeah. To be fair, with Sony, I can only name Spider-Man, Uncharted. I can't name many for Sony either. I can't name many actual series. I know there are many more for both platforms. Don't hold me to this. Sea of Thieves for Xbox. As I go through this topic, I'll go over both. I'll probably remember more Xbox ones than I do Sony. Both of them have exclusives. It's just exclusives that were recently released is what I'm talking about here. We all know every single one of Microsoft's launch exclusives was pushed back to the 2021 release date. They have Cyberpunk 2077. The reason why I believe the Medium was pushed back ultimately is honestly because it would have clashed with Cyberpunk. It'd been delayed due to I can't remember whether it was initially delayed or not. It was pushed back to 2021, and then they pulled it. So they pushed it back to 2021, just after Cyberpunk was announced. And the reason for that was that, or maybe it was late 2020. It was after Cyberpunk's December release date was announced, because lots of games have ended up pushing their release dates back because Cyberpunk was such a massive thing. Cyberpunk is now, at least temporarily, an Xbox exclusive. It runs terribly on Xbox One and PS4, but it runs decently on PS5 and Series X. So Sony decided to remove it from their store, giving Microsoft an exclusive that people can go to Series X for to get a chance on it. Or the Series S, it plays decently on there. Anyway, let's not go on to exclusive, because Cyberpunk doesn't count as exclusive, because I don't count that, but I'm just saying technically you can see that. Now, Microsoft tried to buy Nintendo. Microsoft tried to buy Nintendo. Yes, you heard that right. Now, they were laughed out of the room. They were laughed out of the room. Now, they just laughed. They laughed them out of the room. Now, for about an hour, apparently, for about an hour. So the sale pitch that they try to push is that Nintendo doesn't have the power, but they do have the exclusives. So they try to pitch a combination of the two companies coming together to make a super console that could take out Sony. Did that sound familiar to you? Nintendo PlayStation? When gave PlayStation a start? Yeah, no way Nintendo were going to do that, but they were laughed out of the room. They tried to sell them on Xbox's technical power with their exclusives. I would love to see what that ended up being. I mean, their relationship is very close considering they were laughed out of the room, so that's a whole other thing. But it's just kind of funny to think that Nintendo had the clout to just laugh Microsoft out of a room, because they do. It's just funny. So yeah. It's kind of funny. I mean, yeah, that's just funny. So, it's nothing massive, but it's just kind of funny to hear that they were laughed out of the room by Nintendo. I refuse to say things 10 times, and now I'm going to move on. Windows 10. Lots of you may have heard, and a lot more of you will not have heard, however, that Microsoft is expected to have a massive change in the fall of 2021 on its Windows UI front. By July, Microsoft are expected to have nearly finalised what the so-called Sun Valley UI is going to look like. Now, Sun Valley UI it's a massive shift. It's a shift away from what Windows 10 is to what most modern operating systems are now. UI elements are being redesigned. Everything is being massively redesigned and overhauled for this new update. No stone is going. Supposedly, no stone will be left unturned. And it's going to be massive. Now, I'll go more into Sun Valley in a second, but on January 6th, 3 days ago, Microsoft released an insider build to the Windows Insider channels. I'm currently running that build, but I don't have access to this feature. It's on a slow rollout server side currently. Microsoft is going to be adding a news and weather widget to its taskbar. It'll show the weather in the right-hand side, on the right-hand side of the taskbar with the temperature. And if you click on it, it will expand into a flyout that has a weather widget on the top right, and then some news widgets just kind of around. And the goal of all of this is just quick access to news wherever you need it. I personally really like that. I find that really helpful. it will give me access to quick news stories when I'm on my desktop. I use Linux most of the time, but I do use Windows some of the time, so this will be helpful for me. And you won't have to install a third-party app, check online, or open the start menu to check the weather or news. It can be quite helpful. So the way it works is you just click on the thing in the bottom right that tells you what the weather's like, and it comes up with all of your interests and a few headlines as well. Now it should in theory be available to all users later this year, but it's currently only available to testers in the US, Canada, UK, Australia, and India. And it will also require that Microsoft's Chromium-based Edge to be installed on PC, because any link you click within the feature will force you into Edge to read it, and content will be presented in the reading view by default. You can disable the new taskbar feature, and it will be ad-free. So be aware, it is definitely ad-free. There's no second guessing that. It's ad-free all the way. So it's ad-free all the way. No ads will be coming to it, according to Panos Panay and Microsoft in general. And it's more useful than people bar that Microsoft built into Windows 10 a few years ago. Yeah, you don't even need to mention that. That shouldn't really be spoken of again, in my opinion. But yeah. So basically, some value why I'll go into this now is the massive UI that Microsoft has needed to give Windows for a while now. Everything that's happened with Windows, they've really needed this sweeping visual rejuvenation, which is what it's being described as. They apparently want to see Windows back, according to a recent job advertisement, and is apparently supposed to be massive. It's codenamed Sun Valley and first reported on by Windows Central. There's a new start menu, which we have actually already seen. I don't know if they're going to use it again, I doubt it, but they could. A new file explorer, we've all been waiting for that since day one, as well as some new built-in apps, such as possibly to make in Windows 10 being modernized and the UI being made more consistent. Also, subtle updates to sliders, buttons, and controls will just be found around the experience. And tablet mode is also supposed to make a massive change as well, possibly more to an actual tablet-like user interface, possibly. But it's working on improving UI consistency throughout Windows, which will be found in Windows 10X, most likely more than what we're currently experiencing. So that's definitely going to be weird to see. Now, Windows had a massive jump in usage due to the pandemic, and after that jump in usage, it really does need a polish, and glaring issues have really come to light. So it is more than overdue. Let's go back onto SolarWinds Hack. Actually, I kind of skipped over it into the taskbar. I kind of missed it in my feed here. 250 government agencies and businesses may have been affected. This came out on January 2nd, 2021. Again, SolarWinds is still a developing story. We will update when we know more. It is officially stated as Russia-linked now, apparently is the way they're saying it, but regardless of that, 250 federal agencies and businesses are now believed to be affected. Yeah, they could impersonate any existing users and just access anything, basically. Now, early warning sensors from Cyber Command and the NSA placed inside the networks to detect potential attacks completely failed. They completely failed when it first happened. Microsoft have been infiltrated into their source code in a number of source code repositories. No access to permission to modify any code, which is a good news, and no evidence of customer data being accessed has been found. But it's still much worse than it was initially feared, and we only had 10 minutes. So that's all we have, to be fair. So yeah. But for now, it is much worse than we initially feared. We have no idea how deep this rabbit hole goes. So again, update as we learn more. Twitter have permanently banned Donald Trump. They did this on Friday after a pro-Trump mob stormed the US Capitol, leaving 5 dead. So basically, a few days ago, Donald Trump released a statement on his Twitter. Then loads of people stormed the Capitol. 5 people died in that horrific attack. Donald Trump was then suspended from Twitter for 24 hours, I believe, while tweets were removed from his account. Loads of tweets were removed from his account and also from POTUS account. It wasn't just a few accounts, from the POTUS account as well. And the ban came after the president incited a mob he incited a mob. Sorry, it was initially 12 hours, my apologies, for repeated and severe violations of civic integration policy. Now, he is President of the United States currently until, I believe, 20th of January, which he's actually been warned that he's not allowed to leave the state for. I'm wondering why. Probably no reason, but it is still interesting to kind of speculate, in my opinion. However, when Trump was initially unbanned, he was also given a very clear warning that if he continued to violate rules, Twitter would permanently ban the account, and it has now been permanently banned. At Real Donald Trump is no longer available for use. Their whole reasoning is in absolute plain view, and it's just absolutely incredible, really, that this was even allowed on a president's account. Twitter have also said that if he uses a government account such as @POTUS, they would limit the account use but not suspend it unless absolutely necessary. Now, we do believe that they are making Joe Biden start over again with a new Twitter account, as far as I can tell. I'm not surprised. Trump has a lot of followers, and a lot of controversial things have been said on that Twitter account, to be honest. Like, the slightest bit of endorsement, it's best to kind of wipe that from memory, as far as I can tell. And I don't blame them. So, fair play after everything. But yeah, that's everything. Trump did say, however, I'll give you some things that Trump said. Now, Trump has confirmed that he wouldn't be attending the inauguration. They say that could be seen as implying the inauguration is a safe target. He described the people who support him as American patriots. So, it can be interpreted as support. Again, this is all according to Twitter. I do not believe anything that is said in this, in terms of, like, I don't believe that point is, this is all been stated by Twitter, so they believe that him not attending the inauguration implies it as a safe target. The use of the words American patriots to describe his supporters is interpreted as support for committing violent acts, saying that his supporters will have a giant voice long into the future and will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form. Also indicates that Trump may not plan to facilitate an orderly transition. Plans for future armed protests have already begun proliferating on and off Twitter, including a proposed secondary attack on the US Capitol and state capitol buildings on January 17th, 2021. That is in about 8 days. 8 days until that supposed attack could occur. I personally don't believe it will occur. I just don't think it's going to happen, but until it does, it could happen. It wouldn't be the craziest thing. Facebook have also put an indefinite ban on Trump. That happened on Thursday before Twitter's, I believe it's after Twitter's 12-hour ban, but before the full ban, saying that the risks are simply too great to allow Trump continued access after using the platform to incite violent interaction against a democratically elected government. The only reason that I believe he hasn't been removed is because he is the president. Personally, that's the only reason I could see not to remove him after all these years. So doing it at the end of his reign is definitely fair enough. And that's all. So that is everything for today. Thank you for listening. I'm going to end this here because this is kind of the end of the news segment for today's episode. So, again, a massive thank you for listening. Please do go out there, share this podcast with your friends. I'm not the only one to do it, but share it with your friends. Post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram, post it on Twitter, post it anywhere you can post it. If you have a YouTube channel, maybe give me a little plug, a little plug, possibly. You don't have to, ever, obviously. I'm just saying it would be nice. I am really trying to bring this channel higher now. Massive announcements will be coming soon. One will be coming just after this segment, but thank you for listening. My name's Luke, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Okay, so you've heard all the main stories about, the SolarWinds hack. You've heard about the hacks that have been happening numerously. You've heard about all the news that happened recently today. Thank you for listening this far in. Honestly, I know it's a very long episode today. We're into about 27 minutes as I speak right now. We just hit into 27 minutes. So really, thank you for continuing to listen to the very end. This is a massive announcement for me and just a massive announcement in general. Recently, I have been working on our roadmap for what I would like to make as some server development software. Some server management software. So currently, I've got this small app I made in Python that allows you to send files to be downloaded over to your remote server. I'll be releasing that on Monday. Now, I created a Facebook page and also an Instagram account that will post updates related to all of this. It will post updates related to the new apps and also the live stream happening on Monday. So, for those who are unaware, the UK is back in lockdown. I said it earlier in my episode, but I'll say it again. The UK is back in a full national lockdown. So what that means is I'm at school from home again. I have more time to do things I enjoy because I don't have to travel between home and school. So, because I'm not travelling between home and school, I have decided that on Monday, I will do a live stream. During that live stream, I will announce the roadmap for where we're going to go with the server development software, so plans for what we're going to develop. And I will also announce plans for release schedule of these products. Very vague, is nothing concrete. We're currently in alpha. We're in alpha. A beta of the Python package will be released by the end of the year. That's how long this roadmap is going to be. I'm afraid currently it's end of the year. The final package of beta for it in Python will be released by the end of the year. Once that beta is released, the beta will be constantly updated with features whilst I also work on transitioning everything over to the Flutter development API. For those of you who are currently unaware, I would imagine that's a lot of you, Flutter is a cross-platform development API that allows me to develop for Windows, macOS, and Linux with one unified code base, meaning I don't have to worry about recoding everything for multiple different platforms. Python does the same thing, but it's not the same. It's very limited in terms of its UI capabilities. Flutter is built around having an a user interface around it. And all of this will actually make it very easy. At some point, I may even be able to make mobile apps based off of this code for my application suites and put them on the Google Play Store and Apple App Store respectively. But this is all a long way off, and more details about this will be shared in our live stream on Monday. Now, the live stream will last around 45 minutes from 5 o'clock to about 5:45, maybe a bit shorter, depending on how quickly we get through everything. You'll be able to ask questions live in chat. I will do my best to answer every question I receive. And obviously, I am here to answer your questions about where we're going and to show you what the plan is for what we're going to go with dynamic digital development. This is a massive launch for me, a massive launch for people. We are not going to get anywhere without people being involved in this. This is server management software built for the people. Server management software is a massive market, and those people are already in that market. If we want to make headway, our best way to do that is by listening directly to the people. And that's where I need your help. Because currently I'm developing on a laptop with a Pentium processor, and also I have a Raspberry Pi, which is running Windows 10, and another Raspberry Pi running Raspberry Pi OS, which is my file server. Alright, if I'm going to make something truly worth people using, I'm going to need funds. So, about midway through the presentation on Monday, I'll release a website that has downloaded the first alpha of the first application that will be in the application suite. I will also release my Patreon page at the same time. On my Patreon page, you'll be able to sign up to do monthly donations, to donate money to me so that I can earn and therefore have a reason to continue developing this, and also, as time goes by, possibly buy more things that will allow me to speed up development cycles and allow me to make more complex apps as time goes on, because I'm currently very limited to very basic applications with very basic use cases due to the time it takes to compile those apps and run them and test them thoroughly on my current computer. So over the next day, on Sunday and on Monday, I will have on my Facebook and Instagram page, which you can find in the description of this video, every couple of hours I'll be posting, don't forget to join the live stream, It's very pushy, very in your face. The reason for this is I need to get the message out there. I apologise if it's annoying. If you do start following these pages in your CV to cut to notifications, please do join the live stream. It really will help out, and if you can, then when I do launch a Patreon page, please do fund it. It may seem futile and it may seem like I'm just a kid with a dream. All developers, whether we're adults or GCSE students, we are all at the end of the day people with dreams. We're people dreaming of what we want to do to make the world a better place. And are seeing SolarWinds hack and also realising the pricing of subscription to these things, I want to make one as a one-off purchase. Now, if I carry on talking, I'm going to run out of lots of things I want to say in my briefing on Monday. So, thank you for listening so far. I'll be on YouTube and Twitch at Dynamic Digital Development at 5 o'clock on Monday. My name's Luke. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in tomorrow's episode of Dynamic Digital World, as well as Android analysis and Apple analysis. Those three will all be coming out tomorrow. I look forward to seeing you then.